and welcome to All Hands on Deck for our weekly broadcasted video. Today we have an amazing topic which we covered by Grace Chronopoulou and Tazim Elkington about the new man. Please welcome both of them on the platform.
Grace.
Hello, Tazim. How are you?
I'm great. Lovely to see you. So today we're discussing the new man and what does that mean and why are we as women discussing the new man? The reason why we're discussing the new man is because I think it's really essential to share that we've lived in a patriarchal world for such a long time that our roles and our understanding of the different genders, the two genders, has gotten a bit mixed up. Mm-hmm. And I think that we've accepted that the man is superior and that the man is better and that the man has to run the world, rather than the fact that we are two genders on this planet and that we are here to share equally. And I think with all that's going on now, this is the time to remember that we have to bring some sort of balance, and we have to start understanding that the new man, which is not the patriarchal man, is the man that we all have to talk about and figure out how to create.
Exactly. I totally agree with you. And it's very also important to mention that in order for us to welcome the new man, for those who are willing to see themselves as a new man, also it's very important, is to make women space for that new to come. And because we've used to see men in that roles and making this, not equally, we don't feel as women sometimes subconsciously equally. So if we first as women see ourselves equal to men, with no judgment and with no any, how can I say that, these beliefs of men that they're patronate us, and just step back and listen to them, observe them, and acknowledge that they also are amazing and they worth as women, then we're gonna change the way we see men. And I feel that first women need to step back a little bit, just to observe and see them actually what they can be. And in that way we make space for the new to come. Let's do the first
fantastic
step. Let's do the first step by going a step back just to observe. Yes.
So part of the reason we've created the men we've created today is because women have also participated. We had this picture in our heads of the kind of man a man had to be. So we're also very responsible in creating the patriarchal men and for multiplying that way of behavior. Little boys are told not to cry since they're small, and that they have to be strong and they have to be tough. And as mothers and grandmothers and sisters and aunts, and we've taken away the feeling part of the man. So the man took away or had his feminine consciousness suppressed. And by having that suppressed, these men have become hard and unfeeling and wanting to prove that they are more superior, because that's the model that was created when all this patriarchy began. So in order for men to change, we have to look at the conditioning that has been there for generations. It's ancestral. And why did it come about? I mean, I gather there are 44 texts from the Bible, for example, that talk about women and how women are the power to uplift. Maybe not the power, because the power also has some connotation, but women have the understanding to uplift just as well as men. And those texts have been missing from the public to see or to read. So everything about our world has focused on men, on men being stronger, on being more the leaders. So as we go through this change, it's really important for both men and women to acknowledge this and to accept it and to move the next step and say, you know what, this has got to change, because we're here to work hand in hand with each other, not one over or above the other. And I think this is what even our current situation is telling us, that it doesn't matter who you are, everybody is being affected equally.
Exactly, Tazim. Very well. I agree with what you said, and let's think how this core beliefs of men being strong and not able to they're not like they don't have this kind of permission from the society to express their feelings, and that is why based on research all the disorders of like depression or anxiety occur. Like even if we see it like scientifically, they do have a hyper sentence in that, because women, they're allowed to express their emotions. If we suppress anger, if we suppress sadness, and we're not and they're not coming out of our bodies, then we do have this inner conflict, and inner conflicts are actually one of the causes of the disorders. So yes, I totally agree with that. And even if it's something new that somebody's now coming across, don't be afraid to express your feelings. This is one of the things that I'm encouraging everyone to do, and in creative ways. Expressing feelings are not blaming or yelling to each other. It's like, yeah, the communication skill. Like, I really feel sad for your actions, and let's see what can we do about this. And then in that way, we also teach our partners, our children, how to also express themselves in kind ways. And yes, I think that will balance very much the how female and male energy also is being expressed, as you said.
Yes, absolutely, because you've brought up a very relevant and important part of how the male behavior affects relationships. And if we look at the trends worldwide, marriages are falling apart. 60 to 70% of marriages fall apart within the first 12 to 24 months, partly because there isn't, people don't take enough time to get to know each other well enough, and people don't take the time to actually have pre-marriage counseling, because this is so important before you commit to a relationship. It's really important that you get counseling done separately and together to nourish the relationship. So because relationships are breaking down, and the new mode is, you know, people don't want to settle or commit. And this is creating a lot of chaos because children are affected, families are affected, individuals are affected, and they don't go out and get help. And one of the biggest issues is asking for help. People feel it's a weakness. It's not a weakness. It's actually a strength to ask for help. And so men need to learn to ask for help, to understand that their role is just as important as the woman's role, and that they both have to work at a relationship. Relationships don't just work. There is not a single relationship in the world, be it wife and husband, partners, mother and child, father and child. None of those relationships work unless you're actually investing, taking time, learning to communicate, expressing feelings, and then you're able to create a healthy relationship. And a healthy relationship doesn't mean that you're not going to argue or disagree or fight. Of course you are. That's the whole point. But in a relationship, the other is a mirror. And so if the other is a mirror and you cannot communicate, how are you going to make that relationship work?
Exactly. So what would you suggest, for example, what do you suggest in your clients when you see them? I don't know if clients is a right word to say, but with the people that you help and assist and guide, what do you like? Do you have any tips on that? And about men, let's focus on men, the new men. What would you suggest people to introduce themselves into this new man? Like how they're gonna reach the new man inside them? Like, yeah.
So what I do is I get men. So first of all, when a couple comes to see me, I don't see them together. I see them separately.
Okay.
First, and then I see them together because they have to clear their own baggage before they can see each other. So with the men, what I do is I get them to start going back in time to see when they lost their sense of feeling, of expressing, of saying what they feel. Because one big problem we have right through the world, not just for men, but men and women, is that people are constantly saying things they think that other people want to hear, or they're saying things that they want approval for, or they say things to impress other people. Now, this is a world issue. So what I get people to look at is to start really acknowledging that they need to learn to be honest with themselves. And honesty plays the biggest role. Integrity plays such a huge role, which means that you say what you feel, not what the other person wants to hear. And so with men, it takes more work to get them to really understand that if they are invested in themselves and in their relationships, they have to learn to start feeling and expressing their truth, because that is the first step towards appropriate communication, appropriate understanding, patience, trust. Because a lot of people come to see me, most of the time the trust has been broken. Either the trust has been broken, and in over 50% of the people I see, the trust has been broken by the man. Either he's lied or he's gone out and had a relationship with someone else. I'm not saying women don't do it, women do it, but based on a percentage, it seems somehow that when a man gets frustrated, his escape is to go and find another woman, or to have a fling outside, or to start drinking, or to start getting, addictions going. So because they're not able to express, so we examine all these different components as to how is your repression and suppression of emotion playing out. So this is really important for men to start looking at.
So it's very important, like, let's keep this as one of the most important thing is to acknowledge their emotions and have to connect with themselves. That was going to be the first step, like observing their thoughts, and also at the same time to embrace their feelings. And then as a second step is to express them. But I will say here that it needs to be courageous for men to step out and speak how they feel, and come to connect with themselves. And we are here as women and as therapists as well to support that step. And you men, you're welcome into to the society, and we are here for you to support you. And this is one of the most important things, to support each other in communities, and women in the house, and also outside, like in the families, and then in communities, in the society. So yes, amazing, Tazim. That was one of the most important things, and people need to hear, and men need to hear that. Also, I want to say something very important. Let's start with the children, the boys, and women also need, as mothers, to give some space and not trying to control what their sons wants to do. And also it's very important to have boundaries as mothers, but also start listening to your boys, start listening their perception. It doesn't have to be right or wrong. There's nothing right and wrong. They have so many things to suggest you, like ideas for solutions. And just listen to them. Just like be and next to them, like even slow down here, like in the same high, look at them in their eyes and listen what they have to say. And we're focusing here on the male, the son, because this is the topic today, the new man. We're not excluding girls. We're going to talk about that later. But yes, so your children, your sons, will learn to communicate with the woman, with the female, equally, and discussing, making conversations. And when they were going to be adults, they're going to look up for women that they're going to listen to them, because women listening will be, the key for healthy relationships. Yeah. So yes, that was one of the things that I wanted to also mention here. It's very important. So mothers, listen to your son. I know you want to make things done in home, all the laundry and everything, but just for a second, pause, listen, and then you can talk about it later if you want. Like have like a meeting with your son, like maybe in the afternoon and after lunch. Yeah, we have our meeting. Let's talk about it. Let's do this conversation. We left it in the kitchen, and let's open conversation with our sons. Yes, that was it.
That's really an extremely important point you've brought up, Grace. because as you're talking about mothers, it's so important for them to listen, and it's so important for them to encourage boys to express. And it's very important for them to teach the boys equal responsibility and not do everything for the boys and make the girls do the housework. This is, this is all part of the conditioning. Boys are supposed to not be involved in the house, in the kitchen. Well, you help them shut down creativity by not letting them participate. So equal sharing, equal expression, communication. When you talk about listening, meaning that when you're listening, you need to be quiet. You cannot use your ears and your mouth at the same time. People don't understand the importance of the two parts in communication, which is the listening part and then the talking. But when you speak with the intention of being very clear. So your words have to be choiceful when you speak. And these are all the little aspects that people start to change. For me, I have grandsons, and I'm practicing this all the time. It's so interesting even for me, because this is not the way I saw boys being brought up. So I have to practice what I speak about constantly. And so with my grandsons, it's really important. Like the nearly 7-year-old has the courage to say, "You hurt my feelings." And this is what is important. This is what is going to create that new man that will respect and honor women as much as they respect and honor themselves.
Exactly, Tazim. And with all this said, well said, let's keep that. We have to encourage and support and empower the new man, because we need him outside to breathe, to be in our community. We love men. We know that they are so capable of so many things, and we invite them to our communities, and we're here to support them. Thank you, Tazim, for this amazing talk, and we'll see you all in the platform All Hands on Deck with Virginie. Stay tuned, stay safe, stay healthy, and we're here for you. Goodbye.
And it's so important to all of you mothers, don't forget to communicate with your boys, with your sons, because they are like daughters. They have emotions, they have feelings. And if they are not able to be heard between 0 and 7, sooner or later it will trigger them later on. So please do communicate, do exchange feeling, express also your feelings with your sons to welcome a new man. All of you subscribers, don't forget to follow us on a weekly basis for different topics, for you to live a higher awareness and a more fulfilled life. All our therapists are available for online session. Please do not hesitate to be in touch with all of us. We are here for you. Take care.